So I'm going to try to get this as short as what I can. It's hard to fit everything, but about 5 years ago, I received what I call a blessing, and many of people would not think it was that. But for me, I knew that when I received my diagnosis, that my life was going to forever be changed, and I would have a story for His glory. So that's where it started. And truly, I thought my story would end after the first year of everything that I went through medically. So I had no idea 5 years later I'd be telling this, and the end still hasn't happened. So 5 years ago, I got an infection in my right eye, and it caused full blindness. And I mean blindness, I could not see a hand in front of my face. So we went through a lot of doctors. I sat hours and hours at specialists. And when I'd say I see specialists, I'd see 8 and 10. And every one of them all had the same story for me, is that I have a 0% chance to regain any of my vision. Um, I stand before you today saying that was not the case through lots of prayer and other things at that time. But my vision did struggle for the good half of a year. And my optometrist that I see on a yearly basis, that walked through a lot of this with me as well, has always told me that 3 months, 6 months to a year, that would be about the most improvement that I would receive. So I got a lot of my vision back, but I looked through a massive scar in my right eye. And so that scar has been there the last 5 years, no change. I wear these huge, what I call dinner plate contacts in my eyes. They're called scleral lenses, and they're very uncomfortable. But I went to the eye doctor this last year expecting to have to replace these expensive lenses. And he kind of laughed when he looked at my eye, because every year I ask him, is my scar still there? How's my vision doing? And every year he says, I have no idea how you see. Um, your scar has not changed. And this year, after being on the patch for roughly about 6 months, that story was different. So my scar is nearly gone now, and he was able to pull me out of my scleral lenses. So I no longer have any lens in my right eye, because now I see 20/20 in that eye. And I'm able to go back to a soft contact with a little bit of vision improvement in my left eye. So big change, and very grateful for X39 being the only thing that could have possibly changed, especially considering nothing had changed for me for 5 years up until starting to wear the patch.
I love it. I love it. Well, and once again, vast changes, right? To go from feeling like you're 90 years old and can't stand up straight to just, I mean, I saw you just last weekend. You look incredible. You feel amazing. And Mackenzie, let me ask you this. As a pharmacist, were you skeptical looking at this? What was your first take on this?
Of course, I'm always skeptical of most things that we try. I will say I'm probably a little bit more of an open minded person than most, but my biggest deal when I was doing the research is just making sure that it was not going to do any further harm. And it's very easy with this patch to understand that, because truly nothing is going into the body. And so I feel comfortable recommending it to a lot of people. And so I thought, well, great. I just really started it primarily for the energy. But when I started hearing all these stories of people and vision changes and things like that, I started to pray for that. And I thought, why not me? And so 6 months later, I truly didn't expect that change as quickly as what I did, especially as severe as what my case is. And so to receive that complete transformation so quickly was really amazing.